All right, good afternoon. Thanks for joining Jonathan and Julie D. Um, we are doing a trial run on Q Broadcast today and seeing how our microphones and everything are coming in. So this is just a trial run on Q Broadcast. So, and for our viewing audience out there on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, X, you name it, you guys can find us now on Q Broadcast Television. And hope you guys can join into our broadcast each day. And we will be doing our live morning show each morning, usually right around 8 a.m., 9 a.m. Mountain Time. We're going to have a set schedule for you guys. So hope you guys can start tuning into us on Q Broadcast. Good afternoon, Julie. How you doing?
Grand Rising. Wonderful, Jonathan. How are you? And Q is spelled C-U-E, just for the curious people.
Yep. You want to tell the viewing audience what that stands for, Julie?
I would love to. It stands for Communication Unites Everyone. And I just love that. And it's true. That's why I love it. We're all about the truth.
yeah, and that's perfect. So,
Yep.
And to David Woodell out there, I want to give a special thanks to you and Lindsay and Skip with Q Broadcast. We muchly appreciate all that you guys do, and appreciate you guys bringing your news Arizona live on Q Broadcast.
Absolutely.
So, we've got a lot of things that's been happening out here, Julie, around the country right now. I know they just got done shutting down the airports out in Texas.
I saw that.
We have been covering all the border news coverage for quite some time, getting it out there to the world. And we are going to be live down in the Tucson sector, the Yuma sector, from about the 22nd through the 29th.
Okay.
So everything that we're going to be doing is live feed right from the border. And right now we've got approximately 10,000 active Army deployed down to the border. We just got done doing live coverage down there here just recently. And for our viewing audience out there on Q Broadcast, you guys can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, X, you name it, we're out there.
Channel 24 on Q, right?
And Channel 24 on Q Broadcast.
Very awesome.
But we just got so much in the works right now. I know our military right now, I'm just going to state my opinion on this after what I've talked to with the military personnel. We are in the process of doing a full scale invasion on the cartel, and it's long overdue, Julie.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Yes.
you look at the amount of the fentanyl, the human trafficking going on. You know,
Mhm.
human trafficking, as we know it, is a multi-trillion-dollar operation. That's
Yep.
not including all the drugs that the cartel has been pumping into our country. The
Mhm.
hundreds of thousands of Americans it has killed is
Right.
very concerning.
Yeah.
Um, and again, you know, this is something that I 100% back the Trump administration on. And you know, a lot of people are out there going, "Well, why do we need another war?" Well, when you're killing off hundreds of thousands of Americans, that's exactly why we have got to take care of business.
Well, and they've brought the war here. We've been fully infiltrated and overtaken.
Oh,
And so this is, it's a very different war from what we've all experienced in the past.
yes,
And so we have to take different means by which to engage. And I believe that what we're witnessing right now, especially on the southern border, is very much headed in that direction. Put it that way.
oh, well, and you know, it's like me and our team when we're down on the border. We've got to carry Narcan around with us. We've got to have enough doses for each person, which requires us to have at least 6 doses of Narcan on us.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and, you know, we have had Border Patrol agents actually handle bags or stuff they find on the ground down on the border, and it gets into their pores, and they end up getting overdosed with fentanyl.
Yep. It's
And,
scary. It's
and,
scary how little it takes to OD,
yeah.
you know?
And even having the Narcan, I mean, if you're exposed to a full exposure of Narcan, and I'm talking the pure form, you know, all the Narcan in the world is not going to save you.
That's correct. Right.
It's very concerning. And again, this is long overdue.
Jonathan, it seems like your mic's coming in and out a little bit right now. As
All right.
so,
So let's adjust. Let me do a little microphone
yeah.
adjustment
Let's
here.
double check, make sure everything's solid, plugged in right.
All right. And again, for our viewing audience, today is a trial run for Q Broadcast, making sure our network is up and running and our camera equipment and microphones are working good.
Yep.
And I appreciate you bringing that to my attention too, Julie.
Sure.
Is that coming in a little better now?
It seems like it's fine now. It just seemed a little wavering earlier, so I think
Okay,
we're okay.
I had to adjust the mic.
Okay.
So and then so today I want to take a moment to cover some other stuff as well. We're going to share a few of our previous broadcasts with the viewing audience,
Great.
just to kind of give you guys a taste of what we do. And again, for our viewing audience out there, I'll put up a link right now for Q Broadcast. If you guys want to start watching us on television,
Mhm.
click on this link that I'm going to add. It's up in the right hand corner of your screen on social media.
Right there.
And if you guys scan that QR code right there, you guys can sign up for Q Broadcast. So, what Q Broadcast offers the American people is for $69.99 a month. You get unlimited HBO, Showtime, Cinemax, Stars, Encore, paid per views. You get all your NFL networks for you sports fans out there when
Yep.
NFL season's in. You get all your basketball, all of your baseball, plus all
Hockey.
all yeah,
Hockey.
hockey, plus all your movie channels, guys. I mean, you
Mhm.
guys can search the movies that are your favorites and watch the movies.
Yep.
Um, and for $69.99 a month, you guys are never going to beat that price.
Right.
If you're going with DirecTV, Dish Network, to have this kind of programming, I can tell you right now, it's going to easily cost you over $200 a month. And Q
Wow.
Broadcast is giving this all for you for $69.99 a month.
And
So
no contract.
yeah, and plus you guys get to see your favorite Your News Arizona
That's
live
right.
on Q Broadcast. So we are going to fill our channel up with a lot of different varieties of coverage that we do,
Mhm.
and it's going to be a great show for everybody to constantly tune in to Q broadcasts.
Yep.
Um, and we've got some other people that's working with us as well, and we're going to help get them out there. And I think this is just going to be a wonderful thing for everybody.
I think so too. Yep.
So,
Looks like
anyways,
your dog has come on stage now as well. I
oh
saw her
yeah, well,
jump up
Missy had to join in. She likes to watch
there.
TV.
That's great.
so,
That's
so,
good.
anyways, for the viewing audience out there, Julie D is out of Kansas City, Missouri. And we do our live broadcast, Jonathan and Julie D, in the morning.
Hmm.
And so hope you guys can start tuning into that as well.
Yep.
And and Julie D is also a chiropractor out there in Kansas City.
No, no,
One of
no, 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 no. I'm massage therapist.
excuse me, massage
I work
therapist.
I work with a chiropractor. So
Right.
yes, yes.
So if you guys need a good massage, this is the gal to look up out in Kansas City.
I've been
And
practicing
you
for 25 years now. It's
and I
been a
think
long
we got
time.
somebody calling into the studio. So hold on a second,
Okay,
Julie.
great.
Good afternoon, Your News Arizona. Well, we are live on the air. Okay, give me a call back in about an hour. All right. All right. We'll discuss it. We'll discuss it in about an hour. Thank you. Okay. Somebody doesn't want to be live on the air.
Okay. That's okay.
But but anyhow, like I said, we got just so much going on, Julie, around the country right now. I know I realize we got a lot of people out there that has kind of more or less turned on Donald Trump in one way or another.
Hmm.
But you know, this is what we voted for. Promises were made, promises are being kept.
Right.
Um, and again, you know, people are mad about how ICE is acting out right now, doing their job. Well, if you guys want to research a little bit through every administration out there, this has been going on for quite some time. Um,
Hmm.
these deportations under the Biden administration, unfortunately, it all kind of was put to a halt. Um, and you know, and this is why we've had over 30 million illegals pour through our borders.
Right. Yes. Talking
And
about being infiltrated. Yes.
yeah, so not only is our country been placed in harm's way, we are at a point we don't know who's who in our country.
Right.
And so many of these people, they say, well, why don't you just vet them? Well, some of these countries, it's impossible to vet them
Hmm.
and to know their true history.
Right.
These countries have just unleashed the most worst of the worst in criminals over to America.
Hmm.
And with that being said, this is why if you don't come through our port of entries the right way, as far as I'm concerned, you need to be deported. Point blank and clear. It has to be done. Um,
Agreed.
and, again, this country was made on immigrants. This is what it was founded on. And I
Hmm.
admit that. But at the same time, the way this world is today, we just don't know who's coming to America with, intent on creating harm,
Right.
or if they're coming here for a better life,
Hmm.
or what the true reasons are. Um,
Hmm.
and again, this is why due process has to happen to be able to screen them properly when they come in, to know exactly who they are
Right.
and what their true intentions are. And, and this is why we keep telling everybody, you know, that it has to be done. So, um,
Legally.
Julie, yeah, legally, 100% legally. So hold on a second. I'm adjusting a little bit of the lighting as well.
Yeah. Did something turn off or look like?
No, it's got an automatic dim switch on it.
There we go.
So there, let me put that in place. So just got some brand new studio lighting, folks. So
Woo!
bear with us.
Still playing with all the toys.
Yep. And let me see if I can adjust the lighting. Appreciate the viewing audience having patience today. Um, we are just getting all of our lighting figured out in our equipment. Okay. Is that too bright or look
I
better?
think that looks good. Oh, it's better than what it was. That looks good.
Okay. And then there's some other adjustments I can make if I need to.
There we go.
So, anyways, we got some good upcoming shows coming as well. I've got Richard Gage, 9/11. I'm going to have him on, and he's been exposing the truth about 9/11.
Right?
And the nice thing about Richard Gage is he just got Congress to listen, and they are getting ready to have hearings on this as well
That's
about
huge.
about what really happened on 9/11.
That
Him
is
and a group of
ginormous.
him
Yes.
and a group of the world's best architects around the world have gone over every last thing, and they said without a doubt, 9/11 was a controlled demolition. It was not caused by the planes hitting the World Trade Center. And he's been on my show many times,
Hmm.
and the evidence that they have is undisputable.
Right.
So I hope you guys can tune in to that as well. This is going
When
to
are
be,
they going in front of Congress? Do we have a date on that, Jonathan?
I believe that's coming up in June, is
Oh,
what
not till
Richard
then.
said.
Okay.
So
Okay.
he's actually going to be on a broadcast with me probably in the next day or two,
Okay, great.
and we're gonna do a broadcast show, and I'll have him. Um, what's the right word for it? I'll have
Share
him allow.
share his timeline.
Yeah, I don't want to share stuff until Richard says it's okay to share it.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was
um,
just wondering.
but
Cool.
but they are, but they it will be going before Congress. I know
That's
this,
awesome.
and they've got
Good.
a lot of people very interested in knowing the truth now,
Absolutely.
especially with all the evidence that's come out.
Right.
So hope you guys can tune in to Richard Gage 9/11. We're going to have him on, and again, that's probably going to be in the next day or so, and
Great.
we'll bring him on.
Super.
So anyways, Julie, today's pretty much just a trial run. I want to listen to the recording on live TV, make sure everything came out good, and
Hmm.
while we're doing that, I want to share with the audience a broadcast that we previously did. So, okay. So before we do that, what time is your appointment today that you have to be at?
Oh, let me see. Let me see my time here. I'm good for another half an hour.
Okay. Because what I can do, Julie, if you want, I can go ahead and just share this other broadcasting this for about an hour and 20 minutes, which I think the audience will find very interesting. Um,
Okay.
and then we can plan on doing Jonathan and Julie D tomorrow morning.
Sure.
Yes. So hope you guys can tune into our broadcast tomorrow morning. So I'll let you sign off, Julie, because I'm going to go ahead and share this
Okay.
other broadcast
Awesome.
and let the audience see it.
Great. Thank you
So,
so much. Looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow in the morning.
all
Jonathan
right,
and
guys.
Julie.
All right. So I'll be back live after this broadcast and let you guys check it out.
Great.
So, all right, Julie, we'll see you
Thanks.
tomorrow morning.
Okay. Thanks.
All right.
See you
Bye
soon.
bye.
Bye.
Okay. All right, guys. So give me a moment here, and I'm going to go ahead and get that broadcasted to you guys.
Oh, there you go.
All right, good afternoon. Thanks for joining in to Your News Arizona. I'm Jonathan Alexander, your host today. And today I've got a special guest with me, Greg Pruitt out of Idaho. Good morning, Greg.
Good morning, John. How are you?
Oh, good. Or should we be saying afternoon now? Sorry about that.
Yeah, it feels like morning still.
Oh, absolutely. Greg, you've got a lot of great things you've been doing out there in Idaho over the last several years. You got the Amendment Alliance. Would you like to share with the viewing audience what else you've been doing out there in Idaho?
Yeah, it's, John, I always tell people get involved in any way that you can. Whatever motivates you to get involved, do that, right? For in politics and when you're trying to fight against the left and the liberals in your state, just do whatever you can. As I started this Idaho Second Amendment Alliance a long time ago, back in 2012, have been doing that ever since. So I run a gun group full time, expanding and pushing gun rights here in Idaho. And on top of that, I've been involved in doing news stuff, trying to give Idahoans better news. I've been involved in trying to teach people about activism, trying to teach people about what life is really like inside the Capitol and what you have to be on the lookout for with your elected officials. And so
Right.
I'm just always, any way I can help people, I help people. Maybe sometimes I should say no because I'm tired and I'm doing so much stuff. But I enjoy the fight. I enjoy, trying to help Idahoans keep our state from becoming like California, like Oregon or Washington or Colorado or any of these other states where these liberals always move to, and then just it all goes to garbage because of the
Right.
values that they bring with them when they come to our state. So that's kind of in a nutshell the short version of what I've tried to do over the last 13 years.
Right. Well, you take a look at even what's been happening in Arizona. Like Mojave County's always been a stronghold, and right now we've got the Democrats just moving in left and right and trying to, they say they're moving here because they hate where they're at, and but yet they come here, they want to bring all their garbage and politics with it. Which it's like, isn't that what you guys just escaped from?
Right.
So it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, to your point, John, I here's what I've found in Idaho, because Idaho is one of the fastest growing states in the country, right? I mean, Californians, people from Washington, people from Oregon, well, those three states are just have flooded Idaho, and that's causing all sorts of problems with housing and other issues. But setting that aside, what I've found is there's several different types of people that move to a state like Arizona, to a state like Idaho or Utah or somewhere like that. And there's people, Republicans that move here that understand the fight, and they're some of our best fighters because they know they've just lived it. They understand what's happening, and they come in and they're just ready to go and fight. And then there's people that certainly come here that are trying to push Idaho and these red states to become more like the states they just left. But there's a third group in the middle, and this is the group that can, I guess, cause problems for those of us who are trying to fight back against this ideology shift that these people bring with them, or some of them do. And that's that in a state like Idaho, compared to California, we are as far right as possible, right? These people that come here, they're usually Republicans, and they've lived in a world of so far left policy in these left coast states. That's what I like to call them.
Right.
That the middle road feels like far right to them. Does that make sense? So they feel like, hey, I was in California, I'm here in Idaho, and boy, that Republican governor, Brad Little, man, he's a hardcore conservative, because they're not used to having a Republican at all. And we're over here on the right in the actual conservative movement going, no. Those are the not bad people, but just those are the people that are not helping us keep this state the way that it is. And so that's kind of the more dangerous people in some regard, because they almost help the liberals push our state further to the left rather than to the right where it needs to go.
Yeah, 100%. Hey, Greg, right now you guys got a major crisis going on with abortion out there in Idaho and different things that we were talking about. And the problem that you're having is getting people on board to help fight against all this stuff. Do you want to go into more detail on that?
Yeah. So the issue with I think conservatives in general for a long time has been that we're not very good at activism. We're not very good at mobilizing people. Now, you could say the liberals just have a lot of money and they hire people to go out and do, signature gathering or whatever. They bus everybody into the rallies and all that kind of stuff. Okay, maybe that's true. Maybe it's not true. But the bottom line is they're still doing it. Okay, so fine. If we need, where's all the big money to support the organizations to go out and get signatures or to go out and fight against the abortion initiative that's coming here to Idaho? I don't know exactly what they're going to try and do yet, but we know they're out gathering signatures. We know that the abortion initiative is likely to make it onto the ballot. These liberals are very good at hiring the people they need to go out and get all these signatures. I wouldn't be surprised if they could honestly get a gun control one on the ballot. I'm not saying it would pass, but they could probably get it on the ballot. And here's the thing, John, when liberals are pushing ballot initiatives in these red states, and this is why I don't like the ballot initiative. I think it's direct democracy. I think it's against what our founding fathers had set up. If you want to make laws, become a lawmaker and go help make the laws, right? And go fight for the laws that you believe should be on the books.
Right.
This is a way around our elected officials. And so when they get these initiatives on the ballot, John, they don't mind lying their way to victory. They don't care. The left does not have any issues telling little white lies or even really big lies to get these things passed. In the end, the ends justify the means for them. And so that makes this very complicated because, we as conservatives, we want to tell the truth. We want to expose the truth and what's really happening. And there's not a group in Idaho that's out there completely mobilized grassroots to fight against all these various issues. Okay, now I fight against guns. And if you bring a gun control initiative, you can bet we're going to mobilize everybody that we have, all the volunteers we have. We're going to hit the ground. We're going to go out and fight. There's not really a group in Idaho to do that. I expect for abortion or against abortion, but I expect that the Idaho GOP is going to probably put out messaging and say some stuff, and maybe some of the pro-life groups here will help fight back. I'm not sure that they will. I would hope they will, but I don't think most of them have the ability to organize large groups of people to go out and fight it. And so that's probably my biggest concern right now, is that I don't know of a group that is specifically set up and ready to go out and fight against the abortion initiative that's coming next year.
Right. So, Greg, there's been a lot of patriotic groups up in Idaho. I used to live up in Idaho as well. That's where I met you. And one of my concerns is, why are these patriotic groups not getting more involved up in Idaho anymore?
Well, the 13 years that I've been heavily involved, I've always paid attention to politics, but the 13 years when I started getting heavily involved, the lessons I've learned are, number one, there's a really high burnout rate. Okay. Politics is extremely draining, as you know. Yeah, I can guarantee you come home all the time. You're like, man, I'm so freaking tired. Like, just, so there's a really high burnout rate because it is such a demanding endeavor, if you will. Right. The other problem is you have people who are worried about getting sued. Okay. Lawfare has become a very realistic tool for liberals to use against conservatives. And so if they can sue you and tie you up in court, well, now you're spending money out of your own pocket, or maybe you have some coverage to cover some of the costs of a lawsuit, but that's not fun. Like, I've been through a lawsuit. I was targeted for a lawsuit. I ended up winning essentially because the guy gave up. Excuse me. So that's another problem. And then I think it's super hard work. Excuse me, really, really hard work. And I think a lot of people are maybe like, well, they get involved and they're involved for, a month, a couple months or whatever. And they're like, man, this is tough, because a lot of those people, it's not going to be their job, right? It's not their full-time gig. They're doing it on top of whatever full-time job they already have.
Yeah. Well,
And
and I 100% agree with you, Greg. But here's the thing. I mean, we're talking abortion, human life, and matters like that right there. I would think everybody in the Republican Party would be jumping right on board, wanting to help fight back on this. And just to hear that we're having so few people even wanting to be involved in this anymore is very disappointing and discouraging, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, and it's sometimes I think we put our resources too in the wrong places when we're fighting back. So for instance, a couple years ago they tried here. They started a couple years ago, but we defeated Prop 1 in Idaho last year, which would have brought ranked choice voting and open primary. I mean, it would have just been an absolute disaster for Idaho, and thankfully got crushed at the polls. But I know the GOP spent a lot of time telling people just don't sign the ballot initiative, right? So they were trying to prevent people from getting it on the ballot. I was sitting there thinking, I wouldn't be wasting my time and money on that. I would be saying, I'd be putting out messaging about why ranked choice voting is bad, because look, they're going to get pretty much everything on the ballot that they want. And so don't spend time and resources fighting against stuff that is a losing battle. Go fight the thing that we really need to fight, which is that. So I'm hoping this time around, we don't necessarily spend time and resources wasted on trying to prevent people from signing the ballot initiative, because they're going to find the people they need. They're going to pay enough support. They're going to pay enough people to go out and get the signatures, right? So that, to me, we have a problem on the right where we don't know how to spend our resources, or we spend it in the wrong place. And then to be honest, John, we don't have the money that the other side has. We just don't seem to have the donors willing to fight the fight. And here's what I've told people: if you're going to support John Alexander, if you're going to support Greg Pruitt and Idaho Second Amendment Alliance, or whatever group it is, if you're the type of person where you don't have the stomach to do this stuff, then put your money where your mouth is, right, John? I mean, there's very few volunteers and activists that are going to go out and get in the trenches like we do. So put your money where your mouth is. And if you don't have the time, if you don't want to get involved that way. Send a donation, because all that's helpful to making ads against the abortion initiative. We're going to need a bunch of ads to run on TV and radio to go out and fight this abortion initiative.
Well, Greg, that's something I've noticed. We've got a lot of keyboard warriors out there telling us what we should be doing, shouldn't be doing. Or, even when I've been down on the border reporting, it's like, why aren't you guys doing this? Why aren't you doing that? Why aren't you guys stopping these illegals from flowing through? It's like, well, I don't see you down here supporting us, working with us. It's like, you can say a lot from behind a keyboard. How about just supporting what we're doing and, focusing on the real problems that we're exposing to the American people? And, because unless we all work together and find a way to work together, nothing's going to get accomplished.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. So I get emails every now and then, and it's for the Idaho Second Amendment Alliance, and somebody will be really angry and they're like, the time for talking is over. And I just kind of laugh. I'm like, okay, but like, what are you doing? Okay. I'm a disabled Iraq veteran. Okay. I've been to Iraq. I don't want to go to war. I don't ever want to see that type of situation here on our homeland. Like, a civil war would be horrible. Whether you think we can win that kind of war or not, it's ugly and it's disgusting, and war should always be the very last answer to anything. And so, but to your point, I'm like, well, why aren't you, if you think this war is so important, it's time to just go have a civil war, like, what are you doing? Why am I the one that has to go out and start this war that you seem itching to fight? And it's like, so these keyboard warriors just drive me crazy.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Greg, if people want to get involved with what you're doing, be of help with what you're doing, how would they reach out to you, and what can they do to be more involved?
So I would say, and again, if you are someone who wants to be involved in gun rights or support the work we're doing, or watch the work that we're doing, then you go to the Idaho Second Amendment Alliance website, which is idahosaa.org. I could actually share I don't know if it'll work. Maybe it won't work. I could share the screen if you want, but
go ahead and share it, and then I'll just click it on my end to get it out there.
Okay, just so people can see what it looks like and make sure.
Here we go.
Okay. So that's the website, and we have a ton of stuff on here. We have news, about stuff that we're working on. So, for instance, we did for the first time ever we reached out to city candidates for city council and mayor. No, I don't know of any gun group that's ever done anything quite like this, but we reached out to city candidates across the state. So there's news, that's action items that we're working on. There's legislation and petitions, and we have all sorts of stuff on here that is designed for the gun owners to go out and help. There's tons of stuff about us and who we are. We got a store, we got join, we got donate, all of our social media stuff. So we have quite a bit of stuff on our website. And so if you're interested in guns, then come over here and do some gun stuff. So to me, but again, I definitely want, some people aren't gun people. Maybe you're a land person, maybe you're a border person, maybe you're a tax person or whatever. Go find the groups in your state that are fighting for those issues, right? Or fighting against those issues, as the case may be. That's what you need to do. Whatever motivates you to get off your butt and go help, find those groups. And if those groups don't exist, then guess what? Maybe it's your turn. Maybe it's your time to stand up and go, okay, there's not a group that's out there fighting tax raises in the state capitol or increased budget or whatever. I'm going to start the group that goes out and fights, to stop that kind of stuff. Right. So.
Well, Greg, maybe some of my viewing audience today might be thinking, why are you guys covering Idaho today? And I'm going to say why. I mean, what's going on in Idaho affects us nationally as well, especially when you're talking about Second Amendment rights and different things. Our fathers put the Second Amendment in place for a reason, and that's not just Idaho. That's the United States of America. So these guys, what they do is great work, and you guys ought to check them out. Go to their website and just get involved. And you should be getting more involved in your communities as well, starting up what Greg is doing out in Idaho, because this is what it takes for us to keep this fight going for all of our rights here in America, not just Idaho, but for the whole country. Can't express that enough, Greg.
Yeah. I mean, what's happening in other red states is critical to what's happening, across the country. So whatever's happening in Arizona, and I think that's where we can help each other. Is something's happening in Arizona. Okay, what is going on that might impact us in another state, right? So, for instance, we had a lawsuit at the Idaho Supreme Court, and we ended up losing this lawsuit. And it was crazy because the gist of it is the city of Sandpoint. So Idaho has, and I know Arizona has as well, what they call firearm preemption. It means that cities and counties aren't allowed to regulate firearms. Okay, and if they're not allowed to regulate it, they can't, in theory, let a private entity come and rent a park and then ban guns. If the city can't do it, how can they give the power to a private entity to do that? Well, that's what happened in Sandpoint, Idaho. And so the Idaho Supreme Court was like, basically they could do whatever they want. Once they have it, it's basically their property. And we're like, but there's no transfer of property. This is just, you're using public facilities and public land. You should still have to recognize the constitutional rights that we have. And the Supreme Court, they don't like the activists in Idaho. And they were like, no, you've lost. Well, guess what? That has had huge impact across the country. We have attorneys and gun guys in other states that are going, wait a minute, how did this happen? That doesn't make any sense. Why would that happen? And we were like, yes, that's why you in Arizona might want to be on the lookout for that. You might want to pay attention, because that could easily happen in your state. And the judges in your state may look at our state and go, well, that's what they did in Idaho. We'll just kind of follow what Idaho did. So that's why it's
kind of a chain reaction. Yeah.
Yeah.
We see this so often anymore. It's pretty sad.
Yeah, for sure.
Greg, you also do another thing besides Idaho's Second Amendment. What's your other thing you work on?
Yeah, so we also, and I think I'm going to have some help with this one, which will be nice, because I get tired trying to do all this stuff on my own most of the time. Yeah, so let me share this other tab here. 1 second. There you go. So the other one is keep Idaho free, and the goal is to keep Idaho free from the total insanity that we've seen in these other states. And on this one, I've got some folks that are going to be helping me. There's going to be news on stuff that's not necessarily 2A related, but the goal here is we want to use this as a platform to help keep Idahoans informed on a lot of issues that are happening, but also to fight back on abortion. So we're going to be fighting back against the abortion initiative. And anything where we say, look, this is what liberals have done in other states, we're going to fight against that. And so the goal is to get some volunteers to help fight back against all that stuff that's happening on the ground in Idaho that's not related to the Second Amendment necessarily. So this, again, just you can come on, you can read stuff that we're doing. You can get on our newsletter there at the join, and just for free, you can jump on the newsletter. If you want to donate, you can donate, all that kind of stuff. But the goal is, John, to really fight back on anything, whether it's border related issues, and the border certainly has an impact on what's going on here in Idaho. But whatever it is, that's the goal with Keep Idaho Free, is just to prevent. Right. I don't know where else to go, John. I mean, I don't know what else. I'm going to stop my screen share here. I don't know where else people are going to go. Yeah. But the liberals have ruined so many states. New York was already ruined, and man, it's about to get way worse with that freaking commie that they elected over there. But I think the goal is here, we got to have a couple places to move to. And Idaho is kind of one of the last places I think you can move to where it's not gone super blue or purple yet. Arizona, I know, you guys are under attack. You're surrounded by states that are not doing so well, and you got people fleeing to Arizona, I assume. So
we got Cartel Hobbs for our governor down here, so that's her nickname.
Yeah,
and it's been a fight for Arizonians. It's nonstop. And this is why it's so important that you guys pay attention to what Greg's saying here today as well. This is how us here in Arizona and other states all need to be getting involved, whether it's doing what Greg is doing. But you guys got to form, come together. You guys have to come together and start fighting this. I mean, these liberals, me and you kind of talked about this, Greg. These liberals, these guys come together and they stick together like flies on poop. I'm just going to say, excuse my mouth. That's what they do. These guys come together. They have a plan. They've got the funding. They got whatever they need to attack us that are trying to do the right thing for this country. And that's the problem with our side. And I'm just going to say it here today. Our side, we like to get in a pissing match because somebody wants to always be top dog of everything versus coming together, working together, and finding a way to get this matter resolved to where we can get this country back in order and stay focused on what needs to be stay focused on. That's priority. It's not a matter of who's top dog or who's not top dog or getting recognition out there. It's like me and Greg, I'm sure Greg would agree, we're not about recognition or anything else. We're about getting people involved, getting people activated to where they want to be involved and getting their friends and family involved as well. This is what it takes to save our country. And right now, prime example of what Greg just said, look at New York. They just elected a commie, and I'll say it, Muslim. New City, 24 years later after 9/11, and now we've got a Muslim as a mayor of New York. Think about it. This is what's happening around our country. It's starting to become a chain reaction. It's starting off with city by city, and it's going to go from city by city to state by state. And you know what? Eventually, you're not going to recognize this country at all. That's where it's headed. Unless we the people, stand up and come together and unite and get the job done of what needs to be taken care of. So I can't express that enough, Greg. I mean, like I said, you do wonderful work. I've been actually following your work for years with the Second Amendment Alliance out there in Idaho, and you've done outstanding work. And honestly, I'm surprised you don't have more people in Idaho even involved. I mean, people have got to step up to the plate.
Yeah, it's always a tough haul. And here's the thing, I'm much more of a I use something called confrontational politics, and it's really accountability politics. We hold people accountable. That's the goal at the end of the day. Whether you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, I don't really care. If you go against gun rights, I'm coming for you. Okay, we're going to expose what you're doing, who you are, all that kind of stuff. And that's maybe going back to your earlier point just a minute ago, where conservatives and the left are just different. So we always say, well, Republicans and conservatives, we got to stick together. The problem, I think, is that conservatives have principles. Okay, the left doesn't really have any principles to stick to. They don't really care. In the end, they just want power. That's all they care about. And so it's easier for them to coalesce and come together because all they want is the power. And conservatives, though, are like, hey, you're going away from the principles that you ran on. I'm not going to stick with you. Okay, I don't even care anymore because you're not who you said you were. And so that's where it's really hard, I think, for our side to quote unquote stick together, is because we want to stand on those constitutional principles. We want to stand on those conservative values. And if you go against that, well, now I don't consider you part of my team anymore, even if you have an R next to your name. Does that make sense? And so that's where I think our side really, really struggles with this whole stick togetherness thing. And I'm like, no, we need to keep moving that Overton window to the right, further to the right. And because here's the thing, if we keep Idaho and Arizona, if we fight the same way that they fought in California, Oregon, and Washington, we're going to end up like those three states. We have to do something different.
Yep, and that's what's coming our way right now. I see it.
Yeah, yep. And so we haven't learned the lessons if we just keep moderating and capitulating. Here's the thing: if liberals got a hold of Idaho, if the Democrats are in charge of Idaho, they would go cutthroat, right? They wouldn't care. They would pass every anti-gun, pro-abortion, pro-tax thing that you could possibly imagine. They would not care. But when Republicans have power, like we have in Idaho, like you have somewhat in Arizona, but not nearly to the impact that we have here in Idaho, we should be putting our foot on the throats of our enemies, metaphorically speaking, and just passing 10 pro-gun bills every session, 10 pro-life bills every session. There's no reason we shouldn't pass all this stuff. But in these red states, these Democrats run as Republicans, and then they come in and they keep things, or they support the most moderate Republicans that they possibly can to keep Idaho from moving further to the right. So if you're fighting against me and the efforts that we're doing to move Idaho further to the right, I'm not going to stick together with you. I don't care what your what your party affiliation is. So, yeah.
Well, like I said, Greg, you do outstanding work. And that's something else we keep telling people as well. It's okay to agree to disagree. You're entitled to your thoughts and opinions. I'm not here to silence the American people from voicing their opinions. I'd love to actually hear you guys' opinions on this matter. But at the same time, we've got to be able to agree to disagree, find a way to get past that, and just keep moving forward. Because this is exactly what these Democrats do, because they don't care whether they agree or disagree. They've got one mission and one mission only, and that's to destroy us, we the people. And that's what they're focused on, in my opinion. And this is strictly my opinion.
Sure.
But that's what I'm seeing. You look at what's happened with New York now. You look what's happened to Arizona, where we've got a governor that is cartel Hobbs. You look what's happening in Idaho right now, where the left is completely trying to take over Idaho. Even a small area called Wallace, Idaho. That's Wallace. Population, I think, was 3,000 or whatever. Wallace, Idaho. I've talked to several friends out in Wallace right now, and they said they've had nothing but people from L.A., just flooding the area, moving in, buying up all the real estate. And what they're doing is this, buying secondary homes, taking over areas, set their vote matters in those states to where they can vote. So they're trying to become the new stronghold for the Democrats in those areas. And that's what's going to be flipping our elections left and right in these states. This is why else it's important that the Republican Party learns to fight together, stick together, and get on the track with a mission that needs to get accomplished. Not just a bunch of bickering or anything else. Bickering don't get you anywhere. Don't just talk the talk. You got to walk it and get the job done. Can't express that enough, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I was just looking it up because I think Wallace actually has just under 1,000 people. So to your
Yeah.
point, they're targeting small towns. In fact, this we just had, everybody just had city elections this
Right.
last week, and it's funny because for years I've said, okay, one of the things that we need to change is we need to make those city elections partisan. Just
Right.
you need to disclose your party affiliation on the ballot like we do for president and Congress and legislature and county commissioners and county prosecutor. Pretty much every race we do has party affiliation. And I've said, look, that's where the Democrats are hiding. That's where they go because they know that, number one, most people don't care about their city elections, which is insane because that's probably the one you should care about the most because that's the most impact on your life right away.
Right.
But that's where they go because they don't. In fact, the former state chairwoman of the Democrat Party here in Idaho, her name was Evangeline Beechler, and she was caught on it wasn't even a hot mic. She just openly said it at a forum, a candidate forum, that Democrats, she said, we like city elections because we can hide. She used the word hide. And then she went into how they don't have to disclose their party affiliation. And so it's stuff like that we have to look at and go, okay, other states haven't done this. Maybe we should do this because this would help at the lowest levels of government find out who is who. And then your next question, John, or the next question I usually get is, well, aren't they just going to put an R next to their name? Yes, absolutely. But guess what? That's where the party should be a lot more involved in all this stuff. I'd actually be okay with Idaho going to a caucus system so that we can really vet these people who are coming in and trying to represent the Republican Party or on the ballot. So again, make a change, do something different than all these other states have done, because if we don't, we're going to end up in the exact same spot. And that's where we're headed. The city of Boise, our capital city, is gone.
Yeah.
Like it's gone. It's controlled by Democrats and basically socialists. And
I could tell my viewing audience, Greg, what you were saying is spot on. I was just out to Boise. I think it was 2 years ago or 3 years ago. Janice McGeehan had me fly out
Yeah.
and give a speech at the Capitol on the border. I don't know if you were at the Capitol that day when I did that speech on the border or not. But she had me fly out and go to the Capitol, and I could not believe how much Boise, Idaho, has changed. And
Yeah.
but then I went from there up to Coeur d'Alene, went over to Sandpoint, Wallace, all those areas that used to be strongholds for Republicans are flipping to Democrat. I mean,
Yeah.
again, like even Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, Sandpoint, and people said Sandpoint would never flip. Well, Sandpoint is getting flooded with nothing but liberals now that are
Yeah.
buying up the land and taking over. And this is how they're destroying our states, destroying our communities, and they're just bringing their crap right with them. And this is why we've got to start fighting back, pushing back, and we've got to find a way to work together. And I can't express that enough to you guys. We have got to work together. For you guys out in Idaho, you need to contact Greg Pruitt, contact him, find ways that you can work with him. And I don't care whether it's working directly with him, whether it's through donating to him for his cause. I mean, none of this gets done for free, folks. I know Greg could probably use some donations for the fight that he's doing for the Second Amendment Alliance and for the Free Idaho as well. You guys have got to be working with people, promoting people. Quit pissing your money away on crap when you could be helping out with things that need to be focused on for us in this country. And maybe some of you might disagree here today. You're entitled to agree to disagree. that's the best way I can say it. But
Yeah.
but I keep watching people. They have no problem, going and spending $20 to go have a $20-$30 just to go have a couple burgers now. Sometimes more depending where you go.
Yeah.
But they won't donate $5 to Greg Pruitt's, what Greg Pruitt is doing, or donate a little to our cause for what we're doing, getting this news out to all of America. You've got to focus on people that are fighting the good fight and help them, whether it's donations, whether it's working directly with them, and getting out there, spreading the word to others as well. That's vital. I mean, word of mouth is everything nowadays. Yeah, I mean, you guys got to be our foot soldiers. Get out there, share what we're doing, share what Greg's doing. just get it out there to the world. And Greg, um, I've offered you a position with me on Q Broadcast. I hope you take it. I'd love to have you on my news network to where you can be doing this weekly, getting it out there to America and getting it out there to Idaho. I
Yeah,
love the state of Idaho. And after my wife passed away in 2019, I just ended up selling out, moving to Arizona full time. Um, and, here's where my fight's at right now, trying to help save this state. And and here you are in Idaho, you're fighting that fight. Well, I'm happy to help fight that fight with you as well. And
sure.
whatever it takes to get this out there to America, uh, please like and share this today. Get this out there to everywhere, guys, especially you folks out there in Idaho. Get this out there. Contact Greg. Find a way you guys can work with Greg, and let's keep Idaho, you know, a safe place to be for all Americans, and the stronghold like it needs to be for people that are willing to fight the good fight. Um, can't say it enough, Greg.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, John. I appreciate the opportunity to come on and just talk to the people. And I think, again, sometimes conservatives, I think, need to hear these messages and understand what's going on. And then again, to your point, whatever way you can get involved and however you get involved, if you have a talent that you can donate your talent. If you have time, you can donate your time. If you have money, you can donate your time. You said they'll piss it away on garbage, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm being serious. I mean, I see people just, pissing their money away, and then they gripe about the problems that they have in their state. It's like, well, instead of just pissing your money away, how about contributing a little bit to help people like Greg fight the good fight?
Yeah.
I mean, don't just whine about it. Get involved, whether it's financially, whether it's being, boots on the ground, working with Greg. I mean, there's all kinds of ways besides even financial to help be a part of this fight. But we
Yeah.
need people to get involved. And, where's the people? Ask you guys, I'm asking the viewing audience, where's the people in this fight? You guys talk a good talk, but you guys got to walk it with us. That's what we're asking you to do. Get on board with us, get this shared everywhere, and get involved. I mean, that's the most important part about this. You guys have got to get involved one way or another to save this country, to save our states that are still at least somewhat conservative. But, if you don't get involved, we're going to lose it, folks. We're going to completely lose it all. And if I seem like I get a little emotional about it, you're damn right, because I love Idaho, I love Arizona, and I love all you patriots out there that's watching it here today. And appreciate you guys sticking with us and continuing to share our broadcast out there with the world. I appreciate you guys, but I also need you guys to get involved. Just get involved in the fight with us. Help us. So,
Yeah.
Greg, it's an honor having you here on my show today. And
Yeah.
sorry for the studio here, the problems we were having with the screen share right here, but we got it taken care of.
Yeah. No worries.
And just love to have you back on our show. And
Yeah.
we're going
Anytime.
to focus. We're going to focus and try to get you some more help out in Idaho as well. You got to just keep up the good fight, buddy. You've been doing wonderful things out there.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it, John. Again, thanks for the opportunity. And yeah, appreciate everybody watching and sharing and all that good stuff. And yeah, any questions you guys have, just shoot them my way and I'll do my best to answer them.
Greg, do you have an office number that people can call you if they want to help as well, or just through email?
My email is probably the best, which is president@Idaho, S is in Sam, AA.org, president@IdahoSAA.org. Email is just way better for me. I'm on the phone half the time with lawmakers and all sorts of other people trying to do stuff, and then I forget to call people back. So email is typically the best way for me. It's my to-do list to contact people. So, yep.
All right, guys, and we're going to be live again tonight at 6 o'clock for the 6 o'clock edition. Appreciate you guys joining into Your News Arizona, and appreciate you being on the show today, Greg. God bless you and your family. God bless all of you out there viewing us today, and we'll see you again tonight live at 6 p.m.
All right, take care.
All right. Appreciate you guys tuning into that broadcast. I've got another broadcast I want to just give you guys a little taste of. And this is Richard Gage 9/11. We're going to share. Hope you guys can um, join in on this one. And then Richard Gage will be live with me here in the next day or two. We're going to bring him back on our show and he can give you guys all the updates on what's going on out there in Washington, D.C. Okay. Just bear with me one second. Okay, we'll be back live here in approximately 1 minute. All right, guys, we're having a little studio difficulty. My apologies. This is Jonathan Alexander, Your News Arizona. And today we've got a special broadcast and going to be talking a lot about 9/11. We got Richard Cage. I'm going to introduce him later on in this show. And just to give you a little information on who Richard Gage is, he is an AIA member. All right, give me 1 second here, guys. I got to do a little adjustment on the screen here. Sorry about that. Okay, we're going to try this again for you. Okay, I think I got it all fixed for you, so we'll give it a try. Live with Richard Gage in the past, we've had a documentary series that we did for 3 days straight, and we're going to be sharing those. We're going to be sharing those broadcasts with you guys now. Richard Gage will be coming on, like I said, later on today in the show, and he's going to be talking to you guys a little bit and let you know about tomorrow's broadcast with him live on my show as well. So again, sorry for the studio difficulty. We're having some issues and working with our hosting app on that issue as well. I just contacted them. So, anyways, appreciate your patience. I want to get right to this broadcast for you guys. Okay. Well, good evening. Thank you for joining Live Border News. And I'm your host, Jonathan Alexander. And I've got a special guest with me tonight, Richard Gage. And we are going to be discussing about the 9/11 and getting it out there to all of America, the truth of what really occurred. And I'll be right live with you guys here in a second, and we'll be going from there.
Former CEO of Architects and Engineers for 9/11 Truth. And now I'm with my wife for the last 2 years in our new organization, Richard Gage 9/11, and that's at richardgage911.org. We have expanded our mission to move beyond just the truth about 9/11, especially when the scam of COVID hit. And we are exposing that left and right, the parallels between 9/11 and COVID, and now getting into the parallels between 9/11 and Gaza. We just don't stop coming out with the truth that the mainstream media completely avoids, denies, and censors.
So I'd like for you to really go into depth tonight. Everything that you guys have studied on so far and in your research that you have gotten accomplished.
Well, you bet. Let's do it. Are you ready to rock and roll, John?
I am ready to rock and roll.
All right. Click that button and we'll put the screen up there and I'll show you what we've been up to, because we don't want your audience to be the last to know. And I know you have given a number of these truths out over the time you've been on the air. But still, if people will share this information, we don't want them to be the last to know either, because there are three skyscrapers that were taken down on 9/11. Most people don't even know about the third skyscraper. Most architects know nothing about the third worst structural failure in modern history. And that is a crime. It's actually a crime committed in part by the American Institute of Architects, of which I'm one of 90,000 members, who never received not even a single bulletin on this incredible failure, structural failure on 9/11 of this 47-story skyscraper. It was not hit by an airplane, and yet it also went down. It was the tallest building in most of our states, John, and yet it due in part because of the Twin Towers, which were easily the tallest buildings in the world at the time of this collapse on 9/11. But still, Building 7 is a mammoth building. Each floor is an acre in size, and there's 47 of them. It's about a football field in length away from the North Tower. And I'm getting a lot of background noise. I don't know if you want to mute while we're doing this. That would be helpful.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then just come on back on if you have anything to ask or say. So what happened to Building 7? Here it is standing just fine when the Twin Towers went down, and it survived just fine. A few of the steel beams and columns that came out of the North Tower actually struck the building, but this was not a significant factor in this building's collapse, according to NIST, who's the National Institute of Standards and Technology, who was tasked by Congress to explain these collapses to the American people. Well, let's look at the collapse. This happens at 5:20 in the afternoon. And again, no plane hit this building. Here's what happens. The east penthouse drops first on the upper left, and then after 6 seconds, the entire building drops straight down uniformly, symmetrically into its own footprint in under 7 seconds. Now, have you seen anything like this before? Many of us have, of course, right? The old hotels in Las Vegas look exactly like this when they bring them down with controlled demolition, which is why so many people had such questions. And those questions were addressed finally 7 years later. The attempt to address these questions by NIST, in this case, Shyam Sunder, the project leader of the NIST report, who says this about their claimed cause of this building's structural failure.
What we found was that uncontrolled building fires caused an extraordinary event. The collapse of World Trade Center 7 was primarily due to fire.
Fires. Okay, so fires brought that building down in that manner. Let's look at those fires. Here they are. They're few, they're small, and they're scattered. I mean, these are the worst fires that we have photographic or video evidence of in the building. And as you can see, they are asymmetrical. They're not small. These are fires in skyscrapers. In fact, none of these skyscrapers were brought down by these much larger, much hotter, and much much hotter fires in these buildings. So, and we have much greater fires in these types of buildings. Steel frame, fire protected skyscrapers have never come down before or since 9/11 with fully engulfed. And just so you know, you're not on mute, John, in case you thought you were. There's just minor background is all. So what we want to do is see, okay, if this looks like a controlled demolition, a duck, does it quack like a duck? Does it act like a duck? Well, what are the features of controlled demolition? Typically, we have a sudden onset of destruction usually at the base of the structure. We have a straight down symmetrical collapse into the building's footprint. How do we do that? All the columns have to be removed at once, essentially. That's how a building can go down symmetrically. They typically have free fall acceleration as fast as a bowling ball falling out of the sky if they do their job right. And through the path of what? The greatest resistance, the thousands of tons of columns in the building that were holding the building up for its life. Feature number 5, we have a total dismemberment of the structural steel frame. That's ready for loading and shipment, right? We have limited damage to adjacent structures. That's one of the goals of controlled demolition. We have patterned explosions, which are heard, and flashes of light are seen by witnesses. We have these features. Certainly, we're not talking about fire, right? The concrete floors are broken up. You don't want to have people going into these buildings after they bring them down and then jackhammer the floors. Very dangerous work. We have isolated explosive ejections called squibs in the controlled demolition industry. And so that's what the explosives do. Sometimes they're mistimed or maybe not. There's chemical evidence of explosive devices then left behind in the aftermath. So if you have these features, you know you have direct evidence of destruction with explosives. Guess what? Fire does not create any one of these features, let alone all of them. So if we have all of them, or we have any of them, we know we have controlled demolition. So fires, by the way, cause structures to collapse asymmetrically with gradual deformations, following a path of least resistance. So with additional circumstantial corroborative evidence and testimony like government documentation, foreknowledge, people know when there's a controlled demolition, so there's foreknowledge, advanced knowledge. Experts agree that that's a controlled demolition, at least those experts without financial or political obligations that might sway their objective opinion in the matter as to whether a building collapse was a controlled demolition or not. With video documentation, this can be proof of controlled demolition. Now, we're going to apply that body of proof to Building 7 and see if it has any of these features. Let's begin with feature number 1. Is there a sudden onset of destruction? Well, let's look at Building 7's collapse. Again, the east penthouse falls in an isolated event 6 seconds earlier than the entire building, which drops at that point. So yes, it's sudden. It's standing still, and all of a sudden, it's in uniform downward motion from this point right here. Okay, so we're learning something.
Yeah, you can definitely tell, Richard. That
yeah?
looks more like a demolition. I mean, that is definitely controlled.
Okay, well, I'll give you some more opportunities to confirm or deny that initial assessment, because it certainly is my assessment. But we want to ask this question of our viewers also. Do we have a straight down symmetrical collapse into the building's footprint? Let's listen to Dan Rather with his initial assessment.
What you're seeing are high shots. Now, here we're going to show you a videotape of the collapse itself. Describe that. Now we go to videotape the collapse of this building.
Oops, that was me.
And what you're seeing are high shots. Now, here we're going to show you a videotape of the collapse itself. Describe that. Now we go to videotape the collapse of this building. It's amazing. Amazing, incredible, pick your word. For the third time today, it's reminiscent of those pictures we've all seen too much on television before, when a building was deliberately destroyed by well-placed dynamite to knock it down.
Whoa, What, Dan? Deliberately destroyed by well placed dynamite to knock it down. So he's using his intuition here, right? Just like you did, John, when you saw this. We all should be. And some of us were. But unfortunately, we didn't see this building on video with one or two exceptions on 9/11, and maybe one exception where it was shown uh, on TV later. So interesting. And Dan has never repeated this uh, assessment at any time um, in his.
Right. And evidently, I had my mic muted. Anyways, I just wanted to give you guys a little taste about what Richard Gage is doing, and he's going to be live on our network here on probably going to be on Friday. We're going to have him live on our show. So I hope you guys can tune in to Richard Gage. He's going to be giving a lot of updates on what's going on out in Washington, D.C. with this investigation. And he's going to share more information with us as well. And I would also like to announce that our channel will officially be up and running on Monday. So I hope you guys can tune in with us on Monday morning. And we'll be broadcasting. Hoping to have this set up to where we can broadcast 24 hours a day. We're going to have different people coming in working with us. So this will be live broadcast 24 hours a day. We'll get it to that point. So hope you guys can tune into that. And so again, for my Facebook followers and YouTube, Rumble, X, check out Q Broadcast again for $69.99 a month. You get unlimited television. You get all of your HBO, Showtime, Cinemax, Stars, Encore, pay per views, NFL networks, all your baseball networks, basketball, all your news, national news. I mean, you name it, you get it with Q Broadcast for one low price of $69.99 a month. So you guys got to check out Q Broadcast. We are on the channel, on channel 24, Q Broadcast. So hope you guys can start watching us on television. And have this set up. Our channel is going to be running 24 hours a day. So hope you guys can tune into a lot of great broadcasting. Um, Other than that, today has been just a trial run. I do want to share with you guys real quick what was going on our borders. So give me a second. And we're going to be live back down on the borders. We're going to be there 7 days straight. And we'll be broadcasting live. So you guys can see what's really happening on our borders. We've got active army down there right now. They have deployed approximately 10,000 troops, is my understanding. Um, so I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys the broadcast we did where we had the military live. And evidently, we have some. Okay, so we're going to try this one for you guys. Okay, sorry about that. I'm working on the network here. And try it again. We're doing this with our other camera because right now it's still live, but you guys didn't come in. So anyways, this is Jonathan Alexander, Your News Arizona. I'm on the U.S.-Mexico border down here in the Yuma sector, and I'm here with
Specialist
Session? Sechi. And he's with the United States Army? He's
PNC
DeBoer?
PNC DeBoer, yes.
United States Army?
Yes, sir.
So these guys are active Army. These aren't your National Guard guys. So we don't have our weekend warriors down here.
That's true.
And for you American patriots out there, what an honor to see our soldiers down here on the border. I'm Jonathan Alexander, Your News Arizona.
Morning, sir.
Appreciate you guys being here.
Thank you, sir.
We've been covering this sector for many, many years. I've done a lot of work down here with Sheriff Wilmot for the Yuma Sheriff. Also, I cover the Sassafee, Arizona, Tucson sector. So we're one of the only people that broadcast this stuff live for our world to see the real truth. We don't go back and cut. We don't edit it. This is a live broadcast. And you're on live TV, by the way. So hope you don't mind.
I'm
So
all right.
you only got a couple million people watching you. So anyways, we do highly appreciate you guys. You guys call this operation here what kind of a
G-Boss?
G-Boss setup?
Yes, sir.
So as you guys can see, the setup they got going on down here. What a sight to see. And as we have broadcasted many times, right here is where the border wall ends. This is all tribal land all the way down. This is where the Trump administration has been unable to get the tribal council to allow the wall to be built right here. This is where you still have your human trafficking, drug trafficking coming through. We have seen high pursuits right here from Border Patrol in the past. Right up here, they used to have the thing on the wall that a lot of you guys remember. They took down all the signs, so it no longer says "Welcome to America." This is great to see that and as you guys can see, all the porta potties that used to be here, there's a couple right here. I'm going to zoom that in. That's it for water down here. You don't see the porta potties that used to line this whole section in the tent right here, where these illegals would line up like they're going to Disneyland. So this has all been eliminated. They tore it out. We've got our U.S. Army down here, which is great to see. And how many military personnel do you guys think we have on the whole border right now, right here?
I wouldn't say, I wouldn't be able to tell, to be honest, but I know out of our battery we have about 60 personnel.
About 60 in your unit?
Yes.
Okay.
About 60 of us are in total work this whole border, whether there be some that stay back at the command post or like rotate through our 3 sites down here.
I'm sure you guys are sitting behind a computer doing surveillance work too.
Yes, sir.
You betcha, right? Yep.
Sir.
So, because I was down here probably about a couple months ago, there was not a military personnel one on the border. Because we drove this whole border looking for you guys. Because they kept saying, oh, the military's all over the border. And we didn't find one single one. This is why we came down today again, just to double verify whether you guys were here or not. And like I said, this is great. It makes me want to jump up and down for joy to see you guys here. Well, again, the American people, guys, are sick of this shit. Because this is the human trafficking that's been going through here. We've had enough fentanyl that used to come through this sector right here to kill every last man, woman, and child here in America in one day. That's how much fentanyl was coming through this border. If you guys get a chance to talk to Sheriff Wilmot, he can educate you a lot on what was coming through here.
Yes, sir.
He's a very honorable sheriff out here. So, and again, appreciate you guys putting your lives in harm's way. You guys got level 4 gear on, anything?
That's right.
Oh, good, good. Because I'll tell you what, and the sheriff will tell you, the cartel has taken shots right through this border. So just keep in mind, that level 4 don't stop a headshot, so you guys just always watch your surroundings.
Yeah, we'll be ready for anything.
Yep, I'm just telling you guys that because I've been down here for a lot of years. And every one of these Border Patrol agents know me.
Yes, sir.
So
We'll keep an eye out. It's our pleasure to be here.
Yep.
And it's what we're here for, sir.
Yep. Again, God bless you for all the work you guys are doing. Highly appreciate you, sir. Highly appreciate you. Thank you. All right, guys. So we're going to go ahead and continue on down the border road here. And hopefully we'll have Sheriff Wilmot joining us down here shortly. Okay, this is Jonathan Alexander reporting live with your news Arizona. All right, so we are going to be live. I'll repeat it again for you guys. So we're going to be live down on the border about the 20. I think it's going to be about the 24th through the 29th, 7, 8 days we're going to be spending down on the border. Hope you guys can join in, watch our live broadcast for that. And we're going to be covering the Yuma sector, the Tucson sector, and a few other undisclosed areas we're not going to mention until we're right there live reporting. Hope you guys can check us out and keep our team in your thoughts and prayers. And what I was telling the Border Patrol guy, having the military down there on the border, our team has actually come under fire in the past when we were down reporting. And we have taken senators, congressmen down to the border. Over the last 4 years, we have taken, I've lost count of them. But anyways, we take them right into the heart of the cartel on American soil. We've let them see it, experience it. And all we've ever asked out of these guys is to take the truth back to your states, get it out there, and do what you can to try to protect your states as well and put a stop to this invasion on our borders. And so, we keep hearing how our borders are secure right now. Well, I can guarantee you we don't have active army down on the borders because our borders are secure. It's far from it. And right now, my understanding, we're in the process of launching a full-scale attack on the cartel. And one of the things that was kind of weird was there was a broadcast that recently came out where the airport shut down out in Texas. And my understanding, this very well could have to do with the invasion we're getting ready to do on the cartel as well. But either way, guys, today was a trial run. We are working on our cameras, our equipment, and we'll have a great lineup of broadcasts coming up. Hope you guys can tune in. Sorry for the flub ups today, but we're working on a lot of our studio equipment, making sure it's going to pair up with the Q broadcast, and we're getting there. So just going to ask for your patience over the next several days as we're doing test runs and making sure the quality is good, and want to make sure everything is coming in clear for our viewing audience. So, anyways, so I'm going to go ahead and end this broadcast for right now, and we'll be back live again. Should be live this evening. We're going to work on some of our studio equipment and work on some more of our lighting and our sound equipment for sure. But anyways, God bless you guys. Appreciate you guys tuning in to Your News Arizona, also known as Live Border News. We do a lot of the border news coverage. And for years, that's what people knew me by was Live Border News. And then I ended up buying Your News Arizona and getting this up and running. And it's been a lot of work. So hope you guys can continue watching our broadcasts. For all you guys out there on social media today, please like, follow, share our broadcast. Don't forget to scan the QR code up there in the right-hand corner for Q Broadcast and sign up for some great television for $69.99 a month. And other than that, guys, God bless you. And we'll be live again here this evening. God bless.